All right, guys, welcome back into another episode of To The Show Baseball Podcast presented by Beyond the Monster. I'm your host, Andrew Parker, and today's episode, we have another special guest. We have Red Sox pitching prospect Cooper Adams on the show today. And I know I asked him this early on in the episode, but if that's a name that Red Sox fans kind of are familiar with now, I don't blame you because he was part of the Red Sox contingency to head to the Arizona Fall League. He was part of big league camp, just backing up some games. He got in a few games there and for the Red Sox. And then he was also a member of the Spring Breakout Game for the Red Sox in the game against the Rays. So he's a name that we've kind of seen quite a bit kind of pop up a little bit after being an undrafted free agent signing last February. So he's a guy that's stock is kind of on the rise a little bit. I wouldn't be surprised to see him maybe start the year in Greenville, get up to Portland pretty shortly, depending on how he goes at the beginning of the year. But before I get any further, please, if you're watching my not so beautiful face on YouTube right now, if you're listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever it is you get your podcast set, please give me a like, subscribe, 5-star rating, whatever you do. It helps me out a ton. I always appreciate that. But without further ado, let me just shoot you on to the interview with Cooper Adams. All right, guys, I am joined by Red Sox pitching prospect Cooper Adams. And if that's a name that you have seen or heard around recently, you're probably right because Cooper has been literally everywhere since probably last fall, since the Arizona Fall League. So, Cooper, I appreciate you coming on, and I'm going to dive right into it. You've been a busy guy. We talked about it off air a little bit. You know, you were part of the Arizona Fall League contingency. You had a very short off season. You've been backing up big league games. How has it been? How have you been? How's the craziness been for you?
It's been good. Number one, I'm very happy to come on with you, but yeah, it's been a crazy kind of ride. I didn't expect this to happen, especially within my first year of Pro Bowl. I think when I got the Arizona Fall League invite, um, I was really, really elated and really happy about that. And then obviously to come in the spring training after a semi-short off season and kind of just get my feet wet with a couple back league or uh backfield games, and then hey, you're backing up big league games, and then getting in to a couple of those has been unbelievable. It's been really cool. Being able to be around a lot of the big leaguers, obviously, especially with the spring breakout game too, being around all those guys that I've become teammates with throughout this last year. Just really, really cool experience.
Yeah, you brought something up in that you're just a little over a year since you signed your first professional contract. I just had to look it up because I wanted to be correct here. February of 2024, you signed as an
Yeah.
undrafted free agent. And was this what you thought pro ball was going to be like? Or is this completely like this is crazier than I thought?
It's interesting because I know for myself, I always had kind of the dream of like going to Arizona Fall League. And I know last year when the spring breakout game happened, I was like, I would love to be a part of that. But just, it was hectic. It's kind of a hectic spring, but one that I, won't forget. It's been a ton of fun. Been able to bounce around and be a part of, different things, different times of going out there and playing. We're playing the Yankees. Like that was kind of crazy getting to play the other day, and I'm watching the big league Yankees play up close and personal. So it's just really wild, really crazy ride. But no, I wasn't expecting any of this, but it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's and like I said to you earlier, it's like I'm seeing you all over the place. Like, you talked about facing off, seeing the Yankees in person. You're playing in the spring breakout game, which I think this year it got a lot more publicity, I think, than it did last year. Obviously, it was the first year last year they did it. So I think they did a fantastic job kind of marketing it and I think throwing it out there and a lot of making it accessible for a lot of fans to watch. So that sometimes like a fan could have their first look at you through that game, which some fans probably did. Let's talk about the breakout game for a second here. And you obviously the Red Sox system is absolutely stacked. I know they're ranked in the top 5 on every single publication for a farm system, which is incredibly good thing. So I guess it's two-parter. What's it kind of like being around all those guys on the pitching side of things and even the hitters in the Red Sox org? And then you get to go face against another system like the Rays, who are absolutely loaded with talent. So what was that? How was the feeling at that game?
It was crazy. I think for me, obviously I've known a good amount of these guys, but just continuing to meet a lot of them. Like I know like me and Roman, Marcelo, Casey. I played with Casey last year, but Marcelo and Roman I kind of met last year in spring training, but obviously didn't really see them during the year. So getting to talk more to those guys, talk to a bunch of guys that were in Double A last year as well, and just having a blast. And I think kind of the cool part about it that I really enjoyed was when I was in Arizona, we had the Rays were a part of our team. So seeing guys again like Trey Morgan, Xavier Isaac, seeing a lot of the other guys that were in the spring breakout game that I was, teammates with only like a couple months ago, was really cool to see. And then just being able to kind of watch the entire game, and obviously I got to go in, which was great. But get to watch some of the best of the best play. I mean, the Rays farm system's always stacked, and obviously we're really really stacked right now too. So being able to watch both of us go head to head, as a baseball fan myself, it was a treat.
So I got one more teammate question for you before I shoot to some other stuff here. But you had a front row seat last year at a pitcher that I have in mind that I think is one of the more maybe underrated. I know there's some publications that are starting to throw his name up there, but his name's Connolly Early. You had a front row seat at him in Greenville last year before he went up to Portland. And I feel like he's starting to. I feel like people are starting to know the name, but maybe last year he was a little under the radar. He kind of operated a little quieter. He's a more quiet guy. He's not like out there tweeting around and all that stuff. So and obviously he was part of the spring breakout game. So what have you noticed about Connolly and obviously his game on the mound and what he's doing?
Yeah, I mean, me and Conley are good friends. And he's a dog, and he really is a dog. He works his butt off. And it's crazy to see. Like, it's really funny to see his progression. I mean, even like I watched him in college, and he was like a guy that was throwing 90, 92. And we've been talking about it too. He was at Army and he was throwing like 86. And now he's coming in spring breakout games, sitting 3 to 6, which is an absolutely devastating changeup and just nasty pitches. Um, and I really, for me, like I agree, he's a truly underrated guy, and I think this year is going to be one of those years where a bunch of people start paying attention to him. But he's gross, and the best part about it is he's like the best guy in the world. Like everybody loves Connolly. He's like the best teammate, just a funny individual, just in general. But he works his tail off, and yeah, he deserves every ounce of success he's going to get.
Yeah, big Connolly early guy over here. He's obviously a great person. I'm also a big Cooper Adams guy. And you know who else is a big Cooper Adams guy? I think the Red Sox organization is because we've kind of talked about this a little bit, but they picked you to be part of the Arizona Fall League contingency and you were selected in the spring breakout game. Like that's not something to kind of bat an eye at. Like and you're backing up big league games, which I know there's a lot of guys that kind of get in and out there, but it's still like a thing. It's like they think enough of you to give you that time over somebody else in the system. So, what has that given you? I guess that given you some sort of like confidence, or I guess I'm not sure what the right word is there, but how does that feel like knowing that the organization thinks that of you enough of you to send you to places like that and do things like that?
Amazing. I think, especially being a guy that was a sign guy, and I know a lot of people when in the sense of being a sign guy, it's like, oh man, like you're kind of walking on eggshells a little bit on possibly getting cut or released, whatever it is. So being able to be a guy that got signed a year ago and being able to be in Arizona, the breakout game, backing up big league games, it really is a confidence boost. And I think for me, going out on the mound now, it's almost like a weight off my shoulders. You're just like, "Hey, like, I deserve to be here." I know the org, has, um, kind of looked at me and said, "Hey, like, you deserve these moments and deserve to be here, or we wouldn't be sending you to these things." So, being able to kinda have that and have that in the back of my mind, Yeah, it fills me with a ton of confidence and kind of gives me the ability to just go out there and be myself and do my thing when I'm on the mound.
Something funny that I think I talked to you about it when I had you on the pod last, but uh, one on your scouting report when you signed with the Red Sox, it almost pretty much said like this guy was pretty much built in a pitching lab. You're built at Tread, like you had graduated, you left school, and you didn't get signed right away. You were kind of out there, and you're like, screw it, I'm going to Tread. You got the velo up, you shaped your pitches better, and you're over there, like, then you get signed. And I remember the scouting report saying, like, yeah, he wasn't signed out of school. Like, he went to, small school, Mount St. Mary's, by the way, in the tournament.
In the
Um,
tournament, they just got smashed by Duke, but hey,
it's
we
fair.
made it. We made
It's
it.
fair. It's fair. Both of our squads got smashed first round, so I'm with you. But so you're at a small school. You didn't get signed right away. You go to Tread. You do your thing. You're pretty much built in a pitching lab, is what they said. But let's take that now to 2025. You had a full year under your belt in affiliate ball. How are you different as a pitcher? Like, what did you learn about yourself this past year? Like, what's different about you now?
I mean, everything. It's kind of a crazy thing to think about. I mean, I was talking about this the other day with my parents and actually my tread coach as well, because I think I got signed and I was a big guy of like I was throwing, I think, fastball, kick change, sweeper, and it was like, okay, like, you have some good stuff here. And I think I went into affiliate ball with the mindset of, all right, like these are going to be my pitches. And last year I just completely reinvented myself, and I think reinvented myself going into this year. Added a cutter in that's become a pitch for me that it's been a lifesaver. I'm able to throw that pitch for a strike. I'm able to throw it in 0-2 counts, like when I need to get back in the zone. So that's been massive. And then revamped my changeup, made that better. And now I got rid of the sweeper and I'm throwing this kind of death ball curveball, which has been, and that was kind of the process. Like I think, start of the year, I was, especially in affiliate ball, I was fastball, change up sweeper. And by the end of the year, it was, fastball cutter, change up death ball. And then even going to Arizona, like I didn't really have the death ball fully down yet. And no, I mean, credit, same way, that it kind of was last year. It's, feel like I'm kind of getting built in the pitching lab a little bit, but getting to come off of Arizona, go back down to Tread and continue to work on my pitches and get my pitches where they wanted to be for this spring training. And now I feel a lot more in control of what I'm doing on the mound. And yeah, it's a great feeling, a really confidence boosting feeling when I'm on the mound. I'm like, hey, I have pitches that can get people out, and I know, especially with having some experience under my belt, that like I can go get these guys out.
I'm gonna be honest with you right now, Cooper. I've had quite a few pitchers on this program over the last 2 years. I've never heard of a death ball. I'm gonna be honest. Can you
Yeah.
can you define that? Like, can you? What is that?
It's an interesting pitch. There's so many explanations for it. The one that I usually use is like Kumar Rocker.
Okay.
He has this kind of, everyone talks about his slider, what his slider does. And you know you know what a gyro slider is, right? I take.
Yep.
Yeah, so basically I usually like to say it's a gyro slider that instead of going sideways, it goes straight down. Um,
Huh.
so it basically has this that ability to just, yeah, instead of going sideways, go straight down, and you're able to throw it pretty hard. So it's kind of, as people say, like a miniature curveball. And you're
Okay.
able to throw it hard, and it's kind of been something that um, for me, it I was talking with my tread coach about, and he's like, I think this is going to be a pitch that will benefit you, using, and it's definitely become a pitch that I've just absolutely loved throwing.
Yeah, I've never heard it. So kudos to you, by the way. Like, I feel like we're going to get to a point probably in like 5 to 10 years from now that there's probably 20 more pitches that don't exist right now that people start calling. Because I think it was just literally in the last couple of years, like Hunter Dobbins talking about a splinker and getting the
Yeah.
splinker thing. Like I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. There's like the kick change is like big right now. I mean,
Hmm.
there's just so many pitches that I don't think existed like 5 years ago. I think Ghost Ball is one of them. I kind of like
Yeah,
it.
Ghost Ball. That's a good one.
Okay.
That is a good one.
All right. Well, I had to ask because I you said it, and I'm like, I have no idea. I actually have never heard anybody use that. So kudos to you, man. That's cool. I learned something today.
Appreciate it.
Um,
Yeah,
all
exactly.
right. So you had a short off season, by the way. And did you
Mhm.
end up heading to Tread after? Did you say you headed there after the fall league?
Yeah, well, I went fall league and then I went home for about a month or so, spent some time with the family and keep kind of working out. And then I went to tread for 2 months before coming down to spring training.
So did you obviously this was your first official off season with in pro ball. Obviously it was a little different than a normal off season given you were in the fall league for a little bit of it, but
Yeah.
um so obviously with the Red Sox like giving you things, obviously you being in the fall league and doing your thing and then trying to go to tread and all that, like what did the team say to you like during the offseason? Were they just like, hey, like, take it easy, or were they just like, hey, like balls to the wall, let's keep going? Like how did the plans look from the team over the offseason?
Yeah, it was definitely different. Because especially with Arizona, I mean, it was still kind of the same thing. Like, let's keep working on getting better, developing, doing the things that we need to do. And credit to, one of my favorite coaches in the org, Sean Isaac. Credit to him. He was great to have in Arizona. Always pushed us to kind of keep reaching our ceiling, and keep pushing for that and keep trying to make it go higher and higher. And yeah, I mean, Arizona kind of made it easy for us to know what we need to work on. And I think once Arizona ended, I had kind of similar plans from the Red Sox as well as Tread of just like, hey, let's, get stronger, keep working on our mechanics so we can throw harder. And then obviously get some of these pitches more consistent. And that's kind of been was my focus this off season. Same kind of focus this spring training is just like keep getting my pitches consistent, keep throwing the ball hard, and just keep seeing what happens.
I'm glad you brought up Sean Isaac, by the way, because I was having a chat with him, and I had Dan DeLucia on this show as well a couple weeks ago, and something they both said to me that kept sticking out because they repeated it. They were just like when they were talking about guys like around like that Dan coached in AAA last year or Sean coached last year, or whatever it was. They're just like, yeah, they spent the off season, they're 15 pounds. They kept talking about Quinn Priester adding all the weight, all that. More mass equals gas is all I kept hearing. Did you get in the weight room this off season? Are you one of the guys in the best shape of your life?
Yeah, I got kind of got punished at tread. I was laughing about it with my tread coach because he was having me on these four days, or I guess four lifts a week. That's what it is. That's a better way to say it. Four lifts a week. Just killing it, trying to put up weight, get as strong as possible. I mean, I remember one of the days, I was had a leg day that just absolutely killed me, and I don't know if you've had Danny Kerwin on, but Danny was throwing smoke in the off season, and I go over to my coach and Danny's over there too, and I'm like, man, you're killing me with these leg days. Like my legs are in shambles. And my coach looked at me and goes, "You want to throw as hard as Danny, right?" And I go, you got me. You got me there. I do. I do want to throw as hard as Danny. So, yeah, just really, really crushed it in the weight room. I think I'm up. I think I weighed myself today. Granted, I did eat before, but I was like 227. So,
Wow.
um, yeah, just keep getting bigger, and I feel a lot stronger, and just my body feels more used to taking some of the um tax that our bodies get with throwing a baseball.
Gosh, man, I repeated you. I said what your height and weight was that you were listed at in 2024, 6'3", 205, and you're up to 227.
Yeah, no,
Wow.
I definitely got up there a little bit last year. I think I got up to 215 by the end of the year, but yeah, no, just hammered food and hammered the weight room this off season, and just trying to keep continuing that and see what happens. I mean, the goal for myself, and I know the goal for a bunch of people in the org is to get up to throwing 100 or throwing close to it, and that's it's kind of been my goal is just see if I can hit 100. That'd be pretty cool.
Well, where are you sitting at these days? Like, what have you, where are you sitting and where are you topping out at these days?
Um, right now I've been I'm sitting in the 95 range. Getting up to sixes and sevens. I know the other day when I backed up the big league game, I actually had a PR, which is kind of cool. I missed 98 by point one, so it was
We round up on,
97.9.
we round
I
up.
see. I can't because I've never hit 98. So
That's
I'm
fair.
like sitting here going, I could if I hit 98, I'm like, oh, I round up, it's 98. But no, like, it's really good to see, especially in spring training, getting some of those 97s, being in a good range and kind of those mid 90s parts. But yeah, no, it's been good. I kind of credit it to the stuff we've been doing here, the training we've been doing here, and obviously a lot of the training and stuff that I did with Tread in the off season.
Yeah, you brought up a name with Danny Kerwin. I remember seeing a video of him in like, what was it, November, December? I forgot when
Oh
it
yeah.
was, and he was hitting like 100, and I'm just like, you're not supposed to be doing that right now.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think anybody's hitting 100, but the guy's a freak. But it's good to
He's
know that he kind
gross.
of drove you a little bit.
Oh yeah, I mean me and Danny are really close, really good friends, and he's nasty, man. He's another person. I think I got asked the other day on a podcast, like who's your kind of sneaky 2025 pick for like a guy that's just gonna go up. And Danny was kind of I think it was Danny and Connolly. So speaking, I guess, of Connolly earlier, but Danny's another one of those guys that I just kind of look at and I'm like, man, you know, he works his butt off and is just such a really, really number one good human being, but he's nasty when he's on the mound. So I as a person that's a baseball fan, I think if I was outside the org, doing kind of what Sox prospects and a lot of those guys do and the scouting part of it. Like Danny would be one of those guys. I'm like, yeah, I think he's set up to have a pretty good year.
All right, yeah, good to know. And fellow redhead guy, so like
Yep.
he's up there on my in my book. I hold those guys a little
A
higher
little
than.
higher. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, we all hate the sun, so like we all have that in common, you know. So
Of
uh
course. Yep.
yeah, so it is what it is. So all right, I got one question left for you, and I will let you slide here. I like asking this question at the end. I think it's kind of fun, and I don't know if you're necessarily like a numbers guy. Like if you're like, I want to post a sub three ERA, or I want to strike out this many guys, or whatever it is. Let's say you're through the 2025 season and you're finished. I want to know. You look back at the year. What would you say would be a successful season for you? Is it something statistical? Is it something different? Or do you want to get promoted? Like what would you define a successful season as in 2025?
Oh, that's a very good question. I think a lot of us kind of want to go towards the results part of it, of like, oh, get a ton of punch outs and have a really good earn run average and do all that. Obviously, that would be ideal to have one of those years where you just punch out the house and have a really good earn run average. But I think for me, it's just having another year to stay healthy, and I think for me, just yeah, it's hard. It's hard to tell because I sit here. I'm like, oh, it's spring training. You don't really know what's going to happen at the end of the year, but any chance that I can continue to push up the org and find a way, kind of in that conversation to be in Boston at some point. I think that for me is a good season. Just being a guy that stay healthy and can keep pushing and being the best version of myself that I can be.
All right, I lied. I have one last question. I obviously don't want to assume where you're going to start the year or anything like that. But eventually, on the road, you get up to New England. Obviously, once you get to Double A, you're in Portland. You're in Red Sox country. You're
Mhm.
in all of the Red Sox fans screaming around there in Worcester, and obviously to Boston.
Yep.
So you're in the thick of it once you get up there. I know Greenville's kind of more southern. It's probably not as many, but what are you looking forward to the most about, like, once you do get up to Double A, whenever that is? What are you looking forward to the most about New England?
Oh, um, I think for me, it's weird because I used to spend a lot of time in Cape Cod when I was younger, but I just think for me, it's the summer weather there is so nice, and I think too just how crazy loyal the fans are. And I'm someone that really feeds off the fans and feeds off the environment and all that type of stuff. And it just seems like no matter where it is, whether it's Greenville, Portland, Worcester, like the Red Sox fans come to support, and I'm definitely excited for going up to New England and being able to feel the support of Red Sox Nation and just, kind of feed off it when I'm on the mound.
Yeah, and I will say this, that, even if you aren't assigned to Portland right away, you might be a little lucky because it's going to be like 20 degrees and snowing on the ground, and you can't feel the
Yeah.
ball when you're out on the mound. So
Yeah,
that
that
might be a
one's tough.
small victory. All right,
Yeah, that
Cooper.
one's tough.
I appreciate all the time. I know you're a busy guy. You've had a very, very busy spring training and off season and everything, but we're obviously going to be looking out for you what you're doing here in 2025. But thank you so much for hopping on.
Of course. Thank you for having me. And I would love to be back on another time. But yeah, thank you for having me on, Andrew.